What is up, guys? It's Kodi. Welcome to Morrowind. If you're on PC and you bought the expansion pack, I hope you guys are enjoying the battlegrounds and the new content. If you're on PS4 or Xbox, it should be coming to you very, very shortly. But for those who are really concerned about their heavy armor builds concerning stamina decay, don't worry, it is not dead. It's dead in no CP and battlegrounds, in my opinion. If you want to be that type of 1vx, incredible survivability, sustain, and damage, you'll lack at least one of those components if you're taking this build anywhere else but CP. So without further ado, let's jump into the gear we are running and the things we have done to make this build viable in open world CP. We are running Bloodspawn, 2 medium pieces of armor. Impen. All the armor, guys, is impenetrable. This is basically the same exact build as last patch with basically 2 changes, excluding CP. So we have Fury. This is our heavy set. All impen. It's max stam, max health, weapon damage, and when you take critical damage, your weapon damage is increased by 30 for 6, stacking up to 25 times. The reason I don't think this will work in no CP and Battlegrounds is because Battlegrounds is really fast paced. Same with no CP. Things die really quick. You don't have any mitigation from CP or damage from CP, so it's just best to run medium and light armor sets. Anyways, in CP you have those mitigations and resistances to a lot of things from CP, so you're basically allowed to wear this. So Constitution was nerfed, guys. It's about half now, but it is still working with the changes we have made. We're running all stamina glyphs, and we're running Werewolf Hide on the back bar and Maelstrom on the front bar. If you don't have Maelstrom, the Werewolf Hide 4-piece, if you can get your hands on a 2H sharpened sword, axe, or maul, it will give you 126 weapon damage, which is 60 less from the Maelstrom, so you're pretty much about min-maxed. We're running 2 weapon damage glyphs and 1 reduced cost. Yes, we have literally changed one of the glyphs on our jewelry to make this build viable in CP. If you feel like your sustain is lacking, go ahead and throw on 2 reduced costs, but I'm running 1 right now, and potentially you may not even need that. Let's look at the stats real quick. Our damage unbuffed is pretty shit, guys. It's 2863. This shoots up to 4K with Fury and Wrath buffed, which is the heavy armor passive. 4K. And in an open world environment, like always, it's not as fast paced as no CP and Battlegrounds. You're going to be able to tank a lot of damage, and you're basically going to have your weapon damage shoot up to 4K in no time. I've played this build literally once, and I can already say that Fury is working really, really well. Weapon crit is at 36% with Thief, and we have 36k max stam, about 23k max health, I'm pretty sure, because we do, actually we don't have M. So your health is going to be sitting at a little bit under 25k. Stamina recovery is at 1300, and here are the rest of the stats buffed up. Keep in mind we are running a weapon damage glyph on our sword on the back bar, which can give us 348 weapon damage. So you do a little light attack heroic slash, and you're already fully buffed with Fury and Wrath. You can basically shoot up to 4.3k weapon damage, which is incredibly high. Coming to our skills on our bar, we have Dizzy Swing, Rearming Trap, Critical Rush, Executioner, Rally, Take Flight. Rearming Trap is basically our flex spot. Rearming Trap is going to give us that really big dot, and as well as increasing our critical damage by 10%. I really like it as a utility skill and a damage skill. It works really well. Place it on the ground wherever you go. Let's say you're going into a cubby, place it down at the entrance. They get stuck in it, place it down again, and then you'll have 2 traps in the battlefield. You'll be having 10% more critical damage and 2 really high potential dots. Make sure to grab your medium armor passives and your heavy armor ones. You don't need the 5-piece ones, so this doesn't do anything for this build. We are a vampire still for recovery and damage reduction. It's an open world build, and we are really tanky and we have CP, so I think it's okay to run vampire. We are still a red guard, yes. We don't have to race change. We have plenty of health with the sets we're running. Werewolf Hide gives us max health, Fury gives us max health, CP gives us max health, and heavy armor gives us max health. For those who want to run like Serpent instead of Thief, go ahead and run Evil Hunter, and you'll gain the crit back that way. Or you could run Evil Hunter and just get really high crit chance. That is also really good as well, if you don't want to run Rearming Trap. You also have the choice to run Venomous Claw or Noxious Breath. Coming to the back bar, we have Hardened Armor, Heroic Slash, Shuffle, Igneous Shield, Resolving Vigor, and Spell Wall. This is the way this build kind of works now. We have pretty good sustain with the reduced cost and the dubious. By the way, we're not running this food anymore. We did change the dubious, so that was another change. That's going to give us a little bit less max health and stam, but it's going to give us that recovery, which really helps. You want to do a lot of heavy attacks, guys. You don't have to heavy attack before every goddamn skill, but heavy attacks are really strong. Heavy attacks were buffed this patch. They increase your resources, the resources gain on heavy attacks. Plus, we do have this passive where you get more stamina from your heavy attacks by 25%. So you get in trouble, you pop a shield, you pop a spell wall, you get Battle Roar from that. Battle Roar was decreased this patch, as well as Earth and Heart guys. So we are getting a little bit less stam from both of these passives now. But you pop that ultimate and you just start doing heavy attacks. You can pop at least 2 to 3 heavy attacks, and every heavy attack is about 5 to... It's about 6k, I'm pretty sure. 5 to 6k stamina. Really, really strong. Make sure to keep your minor heroism up from Heroic Slash. This is going to grant us 1 ultimate every 1.5 seconds for 9 seconds, as well as snaring the opponent, giving them a really big damage reduction in all their damage that they're doing to you. And, you know, we are running a weapon damage chance, so you can open up with a light attack Heroic Slash to chisel at their health and have that 34.8 weapon damage buffed once that's applied. Igneous got changed too, guys. Major Mending is only for 3 seconds now instead of 6. So it's best to Vigor and then Igneous Shield. If you Igneous Shield, then Vigor, you're missing a couple seconds off of your Major Mending. So it's always best to do your heal, then your shield. Unless you're going to do a rally. But usually you can go like this and then get the Major Mending rally from the Igneous. It'll still be on. We're not running Stampede as a utility. Stampede is really good in non-CP and Battlegrounds because of the utility, but this is open world. It's a lot more slower paced, and this is basically your main damage skill. We usually do light attack, dizzy, light attack, crit rush, or we do a heavy attack and a crit rush. It's really strong. You should keep that more since it's open field, open world. Heroic Slash is we already talked about Heroic Slash actually. Oh yeah. Heroic Slash is our snare basically, so you wouldn't really need Stampede. Anyways, guys, that's it for the skills and the armor. CP did change a lot this patch, so we're gonna jump into that. Feel free to change out the CP. You don't need to mimic mine, but there's a lot of diminishing returns, guys, so that's why you probably won't see a lot of points in the one skill line unless it's a really important skill line that gives like up to 25%. So Tower, we have 50 in the Whirler. That's going to give us 18.75% reduced cost of break free, which is basically anytime you get stunned, knocked up, CC break, that's going to cost a lot less on your stam. We have some points in a Mooncalf, and we have points in Tenacity. These are our sustain trees pretty much. Get some 10% recovery here. That's going to help boost our recovery up, and you know, this is going to add on to our heavy attacks. We have 44 in the Tumbling and 44 in the Shadow Ward. We do a little bit of blocking and roll dodging, so we have really high percentages in both of those trees. We have 39 in the Blessed for some extra healing. This is the new CP passive, guys. There is also a counterpart in the red tree, but this is going to increase all your direct damage done. It goes up to 25%, unlike Mighty this patch. Mighty took a really big hit on diminishing returns, so putting more points in this after like 30 to 40 will just decrease the percentages as you go up. We have 51 in the Precise Strikes and 40 in the Mighty. I find this to be a really good mix. Precise Strikes is good because it's going to buff our critical damage and our heals. This is going to give us just increased physical damage done, and this is going to increase all our direct damage done, which is pretty much every single thing we have on our bar except for Rearming Trap Dot. This is the counterpart, Ironclad. Reduces your damage taken against direct damage attacks. You definitely want to invest a lot of points into this tree. It's really good in terms of defensive and survivability. We still have points in resistance since Impen is really, really OP. And we have 60 in a Hardy into Elemental Defender for the Unchained passive. Keep in mind, in this heavy build, our shuffle is at 4K. It's about 4K. You should probably only use this in really sticky situations. For instance, when you get CC'd, shuffle. It's going to cost nothing. It's another reason why this build works in CP. And our last tree, we have 20 points and a quick recovery for some more heals. I think I covered everything, guys. If you have any questions or concerns, please leave them in the comment section below. And I am sorry that the heavy armor meta is not completely gone. I think heavy armor works only at, like, it can only work this good if you're a DK, just because DK has, like, extra places to get resources. Battle Roar, for instance, and Mountain's Blessing. And I don't know what other class can run this high of survivability and sustain and also achieve such high weapon damage when fully buffed. It's really good, guys. And, like, look at this shit. Like, even if you're not even hit, which is probably never, your dizzy swing is still about 14k and your leap's still about 20k. So even if you're not buffed, you can still even buff yourself by another 348 weapon damage, and your leaps will still be at 20k and your dizzy will be at almost 14.5k. So even if you're not buffed, which is literally never, you're still going to hit really, really hard. Anyways, guys, it's been Kodi. Hope you guys enjoy this build, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.